It took me nearly 2 years to finish the 14 books of Wheel of Time, and I declare the following with full conviction. If Robert Jordan and then Sanderson had concluded the series with this chapter, which is the first chapter of Book 13, the near 2 years of wait would have been fully worth it. Reading this chapter is like superior to any kind of experience you can ever have. And if you're planning on starting Wheel of Time, you're in for a special treat. And if you have read the books, you will find it very hard to disagree with me. There are no spoilers here. If you're just starting out, you will have forgotten 100% of what you will learn from this video. If you're in the middle, you need the motivation that this talk will provide you to get through some of the exceptionally boring entries. And if you have finished the series, then it could not hurt to reminisce. The chapter starts like any other chapter of the previous books. The wheel of time turns, and ages come and pass, leaving memories that become legend. Legend fades to myth, and even myth is long forgotten when the age that gave it birth comes again. In one age, called the third age by some, an age yet to come, an age long past, a wind rose, and it goes on like a page or two and leads us to the Dragon Mount. At around the Dragon Mount, we meet two characters and an orchard of apple trees. Now we know that there is an evil influence on the world called the Dark One. He's locked into his prison, which was forged by the Aes Sedai of the distant past. But that prison is losing its strength against the might of the Dark One. Lately, the Dark One has been dipping his fingers into the affairs of the world, and as a result, the food has been turning bad. So naturally, these characters, only few of the many million characters in the series, I'm kidding, there is hardly 1,000 characters. So these people who grow apples are worried about the slow growth of the apples. The trees themselves looked fine, not an insect bite on them. Leaves a little yellowed, but still good. Sure, the spring buds had come late, and the apples had grown slowly, but they had been growing. But the atmosphere, the world, everything is wrong because of the Dark One's touch. The air smelled wrong somehow, stale like the air inside a city. Flies were starting to buzz around the shriveled bits that had once been apples. The point is that this wrongness has been growing for some time. For several books, this has been built in, because the Dark One has been growing in his power over the affairs of the nature and so on. Perhaps this wrongness is what Robert Jordan aimed to portray through some of the absolutely boring entries. But as I said, this boredom is well worth it. So the situation we have here is a situation of wrongness. The forces of light, that is good people, like some of the Aes Sedai and the Dragon Reborn and his friends, have been having a hard time. Same goes for all the people in the world. Because the food is bad, the weather is bad, and so on. These ain't spoilers if you are worried about that, because something necessarily has to go bad in a fantasy series, or in a story to begin with, or in life. So this is Wheel of Time's version of things going bad. This whole wrongness of some 8 books is redeemed, is fixed by this single episode. And that, I believe, is the magnitude of its beauty. Now, if we do an Aristotelian analysis of the entire story, I believe this chapter to be the climax. I know this is a reductionist approach. All analyses are. And this is the chief reason I don't like literary discussions. There is so much beauty in this series that we cannot possibly categorize it. But it is a healthy start for a discussion. As I said, this chapter redeems and fixes the wrongness of Wheel of Time world. And how does it happen? Well, of course, the Chosen One trope. Randall Thor is the Dragon Reborn, and that is no spoiler. You get to know it pretty much at the start. The great transformation that the readers wait for in the protagonist, since the protagonist has to change. Otherwise, there would be a flat character, and that would be a literary flaw. I have not seen any parallel in any fantasy series to this great transformation. Yes, the First Law trilogy has great characters, and so does Melisandre World, but this is something on a totally different level. One waits for this transformation for 12 books, and that is the beauty of it. Getting back to the wrongness, he had seen insects attack a crop. He had seen plants lost to flood, to drought, or to negligence. But in all his years, he He had never seen anything like this. This was something evil. The village was already starving. They didn't talk about it, not when the children or youths were around. The adults quietly gave what they had to the young and to the women who were nursing. But the cows were going dry, the stores spoiling, the crops dying. In this pandemonium of wrongness, we get to see that our guy, the Dragon Reborn, is in the vicinity. Maybe it was time to let go. He felt something on his neck. Warmth. He hesitated, then turned weary eyes towards the sky. Sunlight bathed his face. He gaped. It seemed so long since he had seen pure sunlight. It shone down through a large break in the clouds, comforting, like the warmth of an oven. The apple trees were flowering. How exactly does this happen, and how is the Dragon Reborn doing it? This is a spoiler, or is it? So, this simple man sees that there is a stranger coming his way, and he looks to him and asks, "Ho, stranger, did you get lost up in the foothills?" The stranger looked about, then breathed in deeply. "No, I'm not lost. Finally. It feels like a great long time since I've understood the path before me." I'm getting sentimental reminiscing about this chapter, so I'll just wrap it up. And then all of a sudden, there are apples on all the trees in the orchard. The dragon reborn and the simple man talk, and then the dragon leaves. He looked eastward. Elman felt a pull inside of him. Something was tugging him towards the direction the stranger had gone. Apples first, he thought. Then, well, then he'd see.